Hello and welcome to a new chapter, number 25, episode number 4 of Azure Support Academy. In this episode, we are going to cover how to use the PerfCollector PowerShell script. My name is José Manuel Jurado. I am a escalation engineer working in Microsoft and subject matter expert in this technology. Well, what is the reason about this PerfCollector PowerShell script? Basically is to review the basics performance recommendations that we have for SQL database or managed instance. You could find more information in this link about the lesson learned number 195. What is doing this PowerShell script? Well, it's going to do per database 11 actions. Okay, the first action is check if the statistics are the total number of rows is different than the row sample, because for example SQL Server updates the statistics automatically using a sample, or if the statistics has more than 15 days that the statistics has been updated previously. Also, it's going to check the auto-tuning recommendations, checking the statistics associated for any indexes with the same verification that we have previously about the checked statistics, checks if the max top is 0. You know that it's not a bad recommendation to have 0, depending on the number of speakers that you have. Review if we have 50% of the indexes fragmented, review if we have missing indexes, review if we have any query that we had previously executions timeout, obtain the 10%, sorry, the top 10 of weighted statistics from query data store, export all the results of the DMVs that we have about query data store to BCP files, obtain the resource usage per database, for example, CPU, I/O, etc., and the total amount of space run per table. Well, what are the parameters that we have to instruct to this PowerShell script? Well, basically, we need to instruct the server name that we are going to connect, the user that we are going to use, the password that we are going to use. The database, if you type all, this script will review all the databases that you have in this server, and is going to review to run all this process to all the databases, or basically you could specify the one database. If you export, if you define the folder will be the folder that we are going to save all the files that is going to be generated by this PowerShell script. Drop in 16 means that if the value is 1, it's going to delete all the files that we have in this folder with this extension. Okay, and elastic DB pool will be that the name of the elastic pool that is going to review for all databases that are in this elastic pool. Well, this is an example about the files that is going to be generated by the PerfCollector. We are going to have a file that with extension log that contains all the information, all the process that we have. We are going to have one file per database plus the test that we did, for example, resource stat, the BCP file about the query web statistics, etc. You could open this file in order to check what is the best practice about it. Also, This PowerShell script is possible to use in SQL Server, in the last version of SQL Server on premises, or VMs, or managed instance, Linux, etc. We are going to test the database pool that is called GM Jurado test. This elastic pool, we have 2 big cores and the storage is 360 gigabytes right now. We don't have any limited in terms of elastic pool in order to use all the resources. And the databases that are part of this elastic pool are the GM Jurado test DB1, DB2, and DB3. Okay, so let's get started. So right now, this is the source code that we have in this PowerShell script. As you could see, basically, this PowerShell script is going to run several processes. Okay, check statistics, fragmentation, command timeout, check weights, etc. Basically, every process is to run different this SQL command statement. We are going to read data basically, and depending on some data, we are going to generate files. Basically, it's this one. So this is the parameter that we have right now. So and that's it. So let's start with the test. Okay, I'm going to run the process. Just going to type, okay, this is the password. So right now, as you can see here, this PowerShell is running. It's obtaining all the data. It's checking the databases that we have previously, GM Jurado test 1 and 2 and 3. He's going to export all the process, the resources, etc. And in a couple of seconds, we are going to have all this information in that one storage folder. Well, the process is finished. Right now, as we mentioned, this is the files that was generated by the application. As we mentioned, we have the files. For example, let's start with this one. Yeah. For example, we have a per check log. If we open this file, as you could see here, report that the different action, the different process that this application perform, obtain the data for the databases that we have right now. They check all the databases right now. I check all the databases that we have. Let's modify the file that we have also in order to check just only the PowerShell script. Sorry, the databases that we have matches us, because right now check all the databases that we have in our but let's continue in this analysis. It's the same. So as we mentioned, right now, as you can see here, for database number 1, we check these statistics. We found this timeout in these databases. We have some recommendations. So if we, for example, go back to this folder and we use, for example, for the database number 1, as you could see, every file contains the name of the database plus the name of the process that we did. For example, statistics.
statistics, for example. Let's start with this one. 1 second. What happened with missing statistics? Right now, we don't have any missing statistics. The reason it's because there is not needed. We have statistics. In this case, as you could see here, we found some statistics that right now we have some issues about it. We need to update because, for example, this statistics the last time that was updated was 15 days, or the number of rows that we have in total is not similar or equal to the row sample. For example, if we want to update the statistics, we have another file that is called tags that you could find in this case for statistics is basically to run the process. You could copy and paste and run in SQL Server Management Studio to perform these operations. Also, right now we have fragmentation, and we have the command timeout. For example, we have here the queries that took too much time to be completed. For example, that the process was aborted. We have also the XML plan in order to check what happened. What else? Time recommendation, if we have any time recommendation, if we have any statistics, as we mentioned, besides the option to update statistic with full scan. We have the resource usage that report what was the resource usage. If we have during I think that the last 2 hours, we have this one. Also, we have the table that contains all the data per table about the number of rows that we have, space use that we have, etc. So, at the end, you could find all this information very useful in order to perform or to review the best practice about it. In the next, we are going to record another video in order to import the data that we have in the query store, because the main idea is to use another application that we have, another PowerShell script that we have, in order to import all this query store in just only one single database. You could run several queries based on of these views in order to check at let's say an elastic pool level or instance what happened for all the databases that you have. Okay, so we are going to record another video about it. So as you can see here, we have all the recommendations. You could follow up all the recommendations that you have and review what happened and try to improve the process. So if as I mentioned, if I want to simply to review just only my elastic pool, basically is to type the name of the elastic pool. If I run this process, we are going to have all the databases that belongs to of this elastic pool. So we provide this information. Let's go to type the password. So right now it's deleting the data of the previous process, run the same against the database 1, 2, and 3, and that's it. So this is the example. Right now with this file, this is the basic things you could perform this operation in order to improve the performance of your database.
Okay, thank you so much for attending these sessions. If you have any questions, please send an email to gmjurado@microsoft.com.